There we go. Okay, so we're back. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Pastor Joe. How are you? Hope you guys are doing good. And so we had to move. We were a little bit of a bad spot there for connection, so I'm going to move forward. I hope you guys can see me okay. Alright, good. Alright. So, talking about how to increase and advance in business, okay? Or how to increase and advance yourself in business, okay? So we're going to talk about a few things that you can put into whatever business you're in, whether you're in the church business, whether you're a pastor, whether you're a minister, whether you're a sales rep for whatever company you're in, whether you're in the automotive industry. Good morning, Pastor Joe. Whether you're in MLMs, marketing, multi-level marketings, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. You're in real estate, you're a realtor, whatever it might be that you're doing. Any kind of business, I have things that I'm going to lay out. I'm going to give you 4 things specifically that I want to lay out for you that I know will help increase and advance you in your position and in your business and in your sales, if you're in sales as well, whatever it might be. This will help you. Okay, so number 1, the first piece to increase and advance yourself in is always come to work, or always come to your position, or always come to your role with a good attitude. Okay, a positive attitude, because let's just face it, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, no matter where you're at, you're going to have negative people. And that's just how it works. You're going to always have somebody who's going to be out there who's negative. But the first thing is, every single day, wherever you go, whatever you do, walk. Yes, I sneezed there. Sorry about that. Walk with, good morning, brother. How you doing, John? Walk with a positive attitude. Be positive no matter where you go, okay? No matter what you do, be positive. Stay positive, because negative, it's always going to be there. Negative people, negative circumstances, negative attitudes, negative cultures, negative perspectives, negative opinions, negative circumstances. There's always going to have, the negative's always going to try to prevail. It's always going to try to get into you, no matter where you go, no matter where you're at. Okay? So if you want to increase yourself, if you want to advance yourself, you have to keep a positive attitude. A positive attitude meaning that you have to stay above the rest of everybody else when everybody else is complaining, or they're down, or they're annoyed, or they're this, or that person, or that. And it's always going to try to permeate and penetrate you and stop you and keep you from moving forward. It's just how it works, okay? This is exactly how it works. Because the negative, if the negative can surround you, it can keep you down. And so you don't want to let that negative air, that negative energy, that negative perspective, no negative opinion, the complaining and the grumbling and the crying and the wah. I always say, when somebody starts talking to me, or start crying about this, or they're complaining about that, I'm like, oh, hold on, wait. Before you tell me the rest, let me call the ambulance, because that's what you're doing right now. You're wah. All you're doing is crying about all this stuff. Stop crying about it. Let's move forward. Let's get positive, and let's just do the best we can with what we got, all right? So we want to make sure that we stay positive, all right? Number 2, we want to create and develop good habits, all right? Create and develop good habits. And habits are simply this. Habits are continued daily practices that form habits, all right? Daily, continued practices form habits, whether they're good or they're bad. These daily, continued practices will form a habit. And a habit is simply, something that can be, and again, you ever hear that saying, old habits die hard? Well, what happens is, so many people have formed so many continued daily practices in their life without even knowing it. They have habits. For example, when you wake up in the morning and you get yourself ready, you have already established habits on your daily routine, on what you do when you get up, where you go first, what you do first, how you do it. Then what when you go into the shower, you come out of the shower, you brush your teeth, you put on your deodorant, you brush your hair, you do your this, you do your that, you get dressed, you iron. Then there's that habit that's formed. Then when you get into work, you even have a habit once you get there. You get to your work, you maybe, get to your desk, you go ahead and get your coffee, you sit down with your coffee, you open up your computer, you turn on your programs, and you start going into the different areas. There's habits that these things that you form on daily practices, continued daily practices. And it's the same thing when you set up, it's like you have children. You try to instill good habits into your children, right? So when my kids, when they were growing, they're still growing up, but when they were young, okay, like Jaylee's 10 now, and Sophia, is 8, and Jace is almost 5, but we're still continuing to form habits within them. And so, but, when we tell them, okay, say, please, and then say thank you. Have them say it over and over and over again when they ask for something. May I? Can I? Can I? May I? Please? All these different things that you were trying to create within them to do good habits in how they speak to people in their communication, how they interact with people, how they, take care of themselves. Whether it's through, making sure that they brush their teeth every day, they do this, they take, they take their chores and responsibilities within their rooms, all the different things. So if you want to advance and you want to increase in your business, you need to set yourself up with some good daily habits, some good daily practices, things that are going to advance you and make things better for you in your position and the results that you're supposed to get in your position. Okay, so you create them. Create good work habits, okay? Good work ethic, a good practice, taking action when no action's been directed. See, that's something that, you should start developing within yourself, is taking action when no action is given or directed by your superior or by your supervisor or by your manager or whoever. For example, if you're just going to wait and do what you're told to do only, then you're never going to make an advancement, or you're never going to increase yourself in that area. Because, you have to get yourself to a place of proactive action. You're not just reacting. You're not just doing what you're said or told to do. You're doing what you're doing based off of what you should do. And you want to make an advancement. You want to get better. You want to have better results. You want to increase results. You want to increase opportunity. So that would come with, getting in and making, if you're in sales or anything like that, making phone calls, picking up the call, when you don't feel like it, picking up the phone and dialing when you're not, told to hit a certain quota. Here's the thing. In the business I'm in, certain guys are going to do what they have on their daily work plan, on their daily, to-dos, so to speak, and they're going to go ahead and say, well, it says that I have 20 to-dos or 20 pieces of action to take today. And then they have 8 hours to do it, or 9 hours to do it, or whatever their schedule is, 10 hours to do it. And they say, okay, well, look, I can just take that and do 2 an hour. Instead, banging out what they have and then making their own additional, good morning, Melissa, additional work plan beyond that. Or just because your work plan's done doesn't mean you're done. You have more things to do. You have more opportunities. You can start making cold calls. You can start calling back the people who didn't answer again later on in the day. You can start writing postcards. You can start writing letters. You can start doing things that are outside the box. Making yourself... Here's the thing, activity will create activity. And so if you start allowing your good habits to start kicking in and start having activity kick in with what you're doing on a daily basis, it's going to create activity back to you, okay? And so it's the same thing. It's something that you need to be proactive about. You need to let yourself start making decisions and actions, not because you were directed to, but because you're proactively doing it for the increase and advancement of the results of what you're doing in your business, okay? Number 3, constantly evaluate yourself. Constantly examine and carefully judge your processes, your actions, what you're doing daily. Look at everything. I mean, look at every single thing that you're doing. Look at, what you've accomplished in the past. Look at what you've done to accomplish those things in the past. Measure your results, okay? And I say this all the time, management without measurement is meaningless, okay? Management without measurement is meaningless. So you want to measure your results. Look at, and I said this to somebody recently. I said, look, if you want to hit X, whatever that X is, okay, if you want to hit that number this month, let's just look at some past months of what you tried, what you've accomplished, and what you've done in the past. So let's go ahead and look at how many people you've talked to. Let's look at how many calls you've made. Let's look at how many, people came through the door. Let's look at how many people, after they came through the door, you closed up. And now let's divide all that in so we can look at your percentages. Now, if you've talked to this many people, you've closed this much in total percentage, this is the total number that you've been able to be more consistently selling on a monthly basis. So we looked at everything that's happened in the past based off of their experiences, based off of their past habits, based off of their past results. And then we've said, okay, look, you're a 30% kind of a closing guy. So you're talking to however many people you're talking to, you're closing up 30% of them. So if you're closing 30%, then what do we need to do to get you to increase your number here? We need to get you to talk to more people. So how are you going to get to talk to more people? If you want to sell X, and this is what your number is, and you've only been vacillating or hanging and floating around this number here, and you want to increase that number here, well, you got to increase the number of opportunities that you speak to people with. You have to increase your phone call opportunities. You have to increase in-store opportunities, people coming in and walking through the door that you can sit down and write up. I mean, these are all things that we work on so that we can evaluate constantly what we've done. And then we say, let's now, because that's what we've done, now let's begin with the end in mind. Now, where do we want to go? What do we want to have completed? What's our result? Okay, well, here's the result. This is what we want. We want to look at how many we want to accomplish, and then we say, now let's look at this and break it out as far as a total month goes, and then let's even take it and cut it into smaller segments. Let's go into weekly. What does that look like? Let's go into daily. What does that look like? And then let's go into hourly, what that looks like. Let's go ahead and cut it apart, and let's examine it. Let's evaluate it, and let's put together a process now and a plan of action so that we can reach and accomplish those numbers, okay? So again, first thing you want to do is you want to have a positive attitude. Walk in every single day with that positive attitude, all right? Secondly, you want to create and develop good habits. Third, you want to constantly evaluate what you're doing, what you've done, and what you want to do. And then next, you want to educate yourself, okay? This is important because education is something that is, it's not to be, mistaken for just getting and gathering knowledge, okay? Because the great aim of education is not knowledge, it's action. And that's something that I think many people forget. The great aim of education is not just knowledge or information, it's so that we can take action, okay? And here's a great formula that I've come up with. Education without application is going to only ever just give you information. All right, this is good. Education without any application is going to only just give you information or good information. However, education plus application, okay, plus action is going to create transformation. If you want to transform results in your life, you're going to need to transform what you do with the knowledge that you have, okay? Transform your the results, then you transform your routine. If you want to transform your results, you transform your routine. You transform what you do. You transform how you do it. You do things differently. You change up your routines. Your routines are simply things that you've allowed yourself to fall into and create on a daily basis, like we were talking about. Good habits, okay? These different things. So, education is just, it's getting yourself to a level where you can take in different pieces of information and from different sources for different subjects specifically. So what you want to do is you want to take as much of that in as best as possible. That's going to be able to arm you with the knowledge necessary that you need to acquire specifically for whatever it is that you're going after and to improve in. But then once you do that, you can't, this is where, when people go to seminars, they go to different workshops, they purchase different, on-demand training, all that is great. But if you don't do anything with it, it's only just going to ever be great information, okay? So many times people will go to different, workshops, whether it's, summits, 20 groups, workshops, conferences, seminars, growth cons, whatever they might be. There's they're all awesome, and they all have something in store for you to be able to take with you. But if you never take it and apply it, and you never start acting on it, then it's going to only ever just be good notes in a notebook. It's only going to ever just be a good link to go back to and watch. And it's just going to be, wow, that's great. This is cool. This is good. That's a good saying. And it's going to be good quotes, and that's it. And you don't want it to be just that. You don't want it to just be information. You want it to be transformation. You want it to create something that's going to make a difference and change your results, okay? So you want to increase your business. You want to go ahead and advance yourself in your business. Then you need to have a positive attitude. You also need to create yourself and develop good habits. You also need to evaluate what you do. And then you need to educate yourself. Because here's a simple formula. You ready? Evaluation plus education equals elevation. It's the E3 formula. Okay? Evaluation plus education equals elevation. You want to elevate? You want to go higher? You want to advance? You want to increase? You get yourself in the area where you're starting to continually evaluate, educate, evaluate, educate. Here's a simple formula. Evaluate, educate, elevate, repeat. Evaluate, educate, elevate, repeat. Evaluate, educate, elevate, repeat. Evaluate, educate, elevate, repeat. That's just how it works. You keep going through that over and over and over again. It's going to constantly bring results to you that's going to help advance you, increase your results, transform your results, and give you positive results, okay? So this is a little more of the business side of Joe, obviously, the business side of what we want to get out to you today. And we want you to take this with you and put it into practice, whatever you're doing, whether you're selling Advocare, whether you're selling Mary Kay, whether you're selling, shop.com, whether you're selling, your books, your products, your brand, whether you're selling automotive, whether you're selling real estate, whether you're selling insurance, whether you're selling anything, you're selling yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. This is something that will help you. This is something that will increase you. This is something that will advance you. Take this and put it into practice. Share this on other people's pages. Let people see this to help them advance as well. Build the network up. Let them go ahead and see it. Let them go ahead and share, share in this knowledge so that they can go ahead and advance as well. All right. Hope this helps you out today, guys. I know it'll help you out if you apply it. And we don't want it to just be a good, it was good information. We want this to, again, transform your results and give increase and advancement to you, whatever you put your hand to today. All right. God bless you guys. Have a good day. We'll talk to you later.